Okay, so the countdowns continue. We only have two left that I need to do right now, and the first one I get asked about all the time when we do a video, say it's a cover song, and I don't know it. I mean, I just don't. And I get asked why. How do you not know that? What do you live under a rock or something? Well, here's the answer. This is the top 5 metal albums that collectors must have, in my opinion. Right? Outside of the big 4. Now, for those that don't know, let me tell you what I mean by that. For many, many years before we started this channel, I was a purist metalhead. Well, I say purist metalhead, hard rock and metalhead. Now, there's a lot of things that come in rock and roll, right? A lot of different subgenres. Now, me, I just say hard rock, rock and roll, rock, hard rock, and metal. That's the way I look at it. But in rock and roll, you have, rock and roll. It's 1950s and 60s rock and roll. Elvis and Chuck Berry and things like that. And then you get into rock music, which is, your Hendrix and things like that. That's just pure rock music, right? And then you get into hard rock with, AC/DC and things like AC/DC. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there like that. That's hard rock. Van Halen, things like that. And some great albums. Don't get me wrong. Some great albums, some great music out of those genres. And then you get into metal. Well, metal is a completely different story because there's all kinds of subgenres in metal, right? And I mean a lot of subgenres in metal. Now, this is 5 albums outside of the big 4. Now, the big 4 are Anthrax, well, doggone it. Now I got to think for a minute. Jeez. Anthrax, Slayer, Metallica, and Megadeth. Biggest 4 star bands out of, heavy metal of all time. This is outside of the big 4. Now, can I name more than this? Oh my God, yes. I could name 100 off the top of my head. You know what I mean? But these are 5 that once I heard them, they've never been too far out of my collection. Far enough that I had to rebuy them because I played them so much, is about it. Whether on cassette tape or, on an album itself or CD or whatever. Now most of them are on my, well, now all of them, as a matter of fact, are on my digital playlist. But they're still not out of my collection and never will be. Because they're great albums. Now, that being said, that's the thing. Before we started this channel, right? Before we started the channels here on YouTube, I spent, well over 40 years listening to nothing but hard rock and heavy metal. And that was it. I mean, that's why I don't know a lot of the pop songs that are, covers. Because I never heard them. I never heard the originals. I never heard the covers. Never heard none of it. Because this is what I listened to. Up until that time. Now, does this include stuff after, say 2000? No. Because I think that stuff after 2000 was pretty much just recycled crap that held the same, that was pretty much taken from albums like this and just recycled and recycled and recycled and recycled. Again, that's my personal opinion. Okay? Just to let y'all know. If y'all enjoy the content, please hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know if you want us to do more countdowns. I will be glad to do them. Or if you want us to do these albums, reviewed or whatever, I'm happy to do that as well. Okay? Or you want to see more from these bands or other bands, other metal, this, that, and the other. Now, the funny thing about this is we were just talking the other day because we did a Love Bites video last week. We were just talking the other day in the comments about 2 of these guitar tandems that are in this countdown right here. And I said, I really can't compare because I haven't seen Love Bites live, but I have seen these live. And they are incredible live guitarists. This first one being, for sure, Iron Maiden, The Number of the Beast. This is an absolutely brilliant album, and it blew up when it hit the charts. Or when it hit the airwaves back in 1982. It was just an incredibly good album, and it still is. It's one of those that holds up to this day, right? Dickinson, Harris. I mean, it's just great album. Great album. Dave Murray and Adrian Smith on the guitars. One of the guitar tandems we were talking about the other day. I have seen them live. They are incredible live. But with songs like 22 Acacia Avenue, The Number of the Beast, Hallowed Be Thy Name, epic live. Just a fantastic album. So that's the first one. It's just great stuff. A lot of fun, and it's a great album. And then we get into the second one. Screaming for Vengeance by Judas Priest. Again, 1982. A brilliant album. Rob Halpert's vocals soaring on this. Just hard guitars. The drumming was incredible. It was a great tour. Fantastic stuff. So, Screaming for Vengeance, Electric Eye, The Hellion, just a great album. Great album. And one that should be in your collection if it's not, if you're a metalhead. And again, these albums, right? All 5 of these albums that we're talking about today kind of changed the course of which way metal was going at the time, right? Now, both this one, Screaming for Vengeance, and Number of the Beast were a part of what they called the new wave of British heavy metal. Which, why that was, I don't know. And again, when you talk about metal, you're talking about many different genres as you go through, heavy metal, hard metal, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, you can get into genre after genre after genre going down the line in heavy metal, but to me, it's all metal. And that's just pure and simple, Okay, this third one. Now we're going to get harder, right? Because this third one was wow when it hit. It just, it was like, boom. Who threw a bomb into that? Possessed, 7 Churches. And what an album it is. Starts out, this album is crazy because it starts out with the theme from The Exorcist, and you're just going, wait a minute, what is that about? And then it jumps into Pentagram and, 7 Churches and Twisted Minds and, Fallen Angel. It's just a Great, great album. And when everybody looked at the cover, parents went crazy when they saw this cover, by the way. Mine included. It's like, oh my God, my kids have, no, it's just great music. And again, this is one of those, right, back in this day, parents were going nuts because you already had, Van Halen, AC/DC, and all that on the charts, and Kiss, and, this is 1984. It says 85, but it was actually 84 when the album was first released, the first pressings of it. And, yeah, just a great, great album. Great album. It's, they say, right, this was a couple of years after Metallica had kicked up, right, and a few other bands. A lot of people said this album, when it came out, was what thrash metal, again, another subgenre of metal, should be, and death metal, both wrapped up into the same album. Great album. If you don't have it in your collection, and you're a metalhead, I would suggest it. By all means. It's a brilliant album. Okay, number 4. Crazy, crazy good album. Death. Scream Bloody Gore. This thing is just phenomenally good. From the guitar work to the drum work to the bass work to the vocals, Chuck and them just, it was just a badass album, Sacrificial, great song, Baptized in Blood, Scream Bloody Gore, Beyond the Unholy Grave. It's a great album all the way through. And it's hard to describe this album in a genre because again, like Seven Churches, it's kind of a mix of about 4 different, styles of metal. Yeah, great, great album. Again, if you don't have it in your collection, I would suggest it because it is such a good album. And then the last one, oh my God, the king himself. Yeah, I know there's a king of rock and roll. I know that. I know who Elvis is. But this is he actually goes by King. The king himself. King Diamond and Merciful Fate. Melissa. What an album. It's very short. It's only 7 songs. But I'm going to tell you right now, from Evil to Melissa, this whole thing is packed with great music. Great music. Into the Coven's one of my favorite songs in metal ever. At the Sound of the Demon Bell, Satan's Fall. It's an amazing album. Now, this one you could go more toward black metal, true death metal, but it's heavy metal all the same. And good heavy metal. Very good heavy metal. Yeah, if you don't have at least one of Merciful Fate's albums in your, and I would suggest this one for anybody that doesn't have them, if you don't have at least one of their albums in the collection, yeah, it's a must. A must. Now, I know that somebody's going to say, are you kidding me? You don't have Motorhead in there. You don't have, like I said, I could, name 100 albums off the top of my head that you should have in your collection, right? And yes, Motorhead is in there, and all these other bands as well. Outside of the big 4. Now, if you don't have the big 4 in your collection, I would say, yeah, you definitely need to get all of it. But, yeah, there's so many great bands though. Venom and just you can go down the line. There's so many great bands in metal. And this is all before, like I said, before the, new metal and all that stuff. I didn't listen to any of that. I listened to very, very little of that because I didn't like it. I heard a couple of things, didn't care for it. So that's why I say all the time that, if it's not been around for more than 30 years, I didn't listen to it. So that's 5 that, in my opinion, you should have in your collection if you are a metalhead or if you're just a great music fan. These are brilliant, brilliant albums all the way through, all 5 of them. So, if there's more y'all want to see, you let me know and we will get it done just as fast as we can get to it, okay? Join us all week. Please don't forget to join us on the other channels as well. I will leave them down in the description. We'd appreciate it. It's a great way to support the channel directly because those are going to help us a lot. So I'd appreciate it very, very much. And if y'all want to see more metal, you let me know, and of course we will get it done just as fast as we can. If you want to get it moved straight up to the top of the list and get it done ASAP, everything is in the description on how to do that as well. All right? My friends, I hope y'all have a great, great day. I will see you later. I'll be live later this evening, 5 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we've got another great week coming up starting tomorrow, all right? I'll see y'all then. Y'all have a great, great day. This is Old Pops. We are out.